So Chris, creativity is different for all different types of people. Everybody thinks of creativity differently. What do you define creativity as?
Well, if we would go back about 5 years, creativity would have been you had to be able to paint a picture, draw it, sculpt some sort of pottery, be able to make some sort of bracelet or necklace. I mean, stuff that I would never be able to do.
So art.
Art. That was my only definition of creativity.
Okay.
You could do creative writing, but I don't like to write papers. I mean, I find it very hard to express my ideas in papers. I'm more of an oral person, visual learner, oral talker. I talk with my hands a lot. I can't talk with my hands in paper. It's not going to happen.
Right.
You can't see my emotion, or in my opinion, you can't. You may. Some creative writers may be able to, but that's my real definition of creativity. Now, that used to be it. Mine now is it's anything that you can do where you think outside the box.
Okay.
So you can be in, so like we're in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
We can think of a really creative marketing idea that is nothing to do with how artsy it is.
Mm-hmm.
It just may be thinking about something in a way no one's ever thought of it before.
Right.
Or using the knowledge you have to make a situation, finding the best in a situation. For instance, in our, for one of the organizations I'm in, we created the whole thing. I was a part of that. I thought of the idea of the name, and I thought of the idea of the campaign that we're putting together. And I mean, I would have never thought that was creative, and then looking back at it, that was one of the most creative things I've done. It was very off of the cuff. I just was thinking, brainstorming, putting ideas that no one's ever thought about before. Now, what would your definition of creativity be?
Well, I have to agree with what you said. I don't think creativity is just different types of art. I think it's whatever you're expressing through any type of form, like what you're saying is through marketing. It could also be through art, but it's an expression of like the person that you are, an outward expression of who you are, like what your beliefs are, and that sort of thing. So
now, in school, for instance, do you think that all of the aspects of creativity are taught, or is it just focused on with like what my view was before I came to college?
I think probably when you're younger, you think of creativity only as like art because you take art classes in school, and so nobody teaches you that your ideas are also creative.
Now, okay, now you say the art classes in school. When I was in school, I was always told I was really bad at being creative. I wasn't be able to draw. I was bad. I could do math, and I could do science. I'm not creative at all. I'm very logical. Now, do you think that me realizing now that I am, I find that that's really wrong to be telling kids they're not creative?
Right. Yeah, I definitely think it's wrong. I mean, I don't think any teacher should hinder any student by telling them they're doing something poorly just because it's not the way that they would necessarily do it. You know, because like I'm saying, if creativity is an expression of who you are, then it's unique to each individual person. And creativity can be expressed, I guess in high school it was different. I expressed creativity through the projects that I did instead of, like you were saying, you don't like to write. Well, a lot of my teachers let me do projects or write a paper, like we had the option.
So a lot of mine gave us the only option was to write the paper. You have to start being, they give us creative writing assignments, and I'm not for that kind of stuff. I don't see why you have to force someone to choose a medium for which someone to display their thoughts.
Yeah, and I guess Ball State is really good about it. I know we're both in the honors college, and they're all about like giving you the option of doing a creative project versus doing a paper because they understand how a lot of people learn differently, and I feel like maybe that's how you realized you're creative. Maybe you got that idea.
Well, like for instance, this project alone, we're using video as our medium to portray our thoughts and our expressions. Beyond that, you could not get the same kind of thoughts and thought or discussion we're having right now if we were to be writing a paper back and forth between each other.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to create a website telling us our views and putting opposing views, you're not going to get this. There's a certain kind of message created through certain types of stuff that you're using.